Hi, this is Ysrafel, and I'd like to welcome you to this quick, free instructional video lesson on tapping concerning the following concepts: transferring from one string to the next, and maintaining an overall clean tapping technique that can be utilized in any tapping situation. Now, tapping is a very well-known lead guitar technique, and it's really common to see a lot of players who will just play the basic licks or riffs that you can do with tapping that usually just involve single string patterns. And, that's cool. Tapping is a very versatile technique, and you can do a lot with just a few notes. But if you want to expand the technique and you want to learn the more advanced, larger, and interesting patterns, then you're going to need to learn to transfer from one string to the next. And to do this, you'll need to learn a few different concepts. Now, first I just want to point out that there's two different ways to transfer from string to string. But before I get into that, I just want to go ahead and start off by showing you an exercise so you can get a general idea of how it sounds and just hear the flow of going from one string to the other. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to play this on the guitar so you can practice this at home. We start off here on the 2nd string, 10th fret A, the 12th fret B, 13th fret C, then we're going to tap with our index finger on the 17th fret, which is E. Then we'll make our transfer to the new string, which is the E string, 10th fret again, which is D, 12th fret E, 13th fret F, and then 17th fret we'll tap again, which is A. So here goes. Okay, so notice that on the initial string we play, the first note is on the 10th fret, and then when we transfer to the new string, the first note's also on the 10th fret in the same fretboard position. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that term, fretboard position, that simply refers to where we start on the fretboard. For instance, playing the open strings would just be open position, playing the 1st fret would just be 1st position, 2nd, 2nd, 3rd, 3rd, and so on. So we start on the 10th fret in this exercise, so we're in 10th position. And for this exercise, this pattern is what I would refer to as a vertical pattern, because when we transfer from one string to the next, we stay in the same fretboard position, which means we can only move up or down vertically. So I've got another exercise I'm going to show you that demonstrates the other way to transfer from one string to the other. But before I do that, I just want to talk about a couple things that you must know in order to play cleanly when doing this technique. And if you don't know these concepts, you just won't be able to play it cleanly. You must have good timing in both your fret hand and your tapping hand. When you go to transfer strings, you need to make sure that the initial string, the last note on the initial string, does not ring out with the first note on the new string. Now, for this particular exercise, and really the majority of tapping exercises or patterns, the last note on the initial string is going to be a tap. Now, before we move on to the next string, we need to make sure that this note has been muted so they don't ring out together. So here's what we do. You'll make your tap, and then you're going to release the string off the fretboard. You're not going to take your finger off of the string. You're going to leave it lightly dampening the string to mute it. Then, after you've muted the string, you can go ahead and hammer on to the new note on the next string and continue the pattern. So I'm going to play this exercise for you one more time, and I want you to really focus on when I make that transfer and how clean it sounds. Okay, now an example of if I wasn't timing that right and they were sounding together would sound like this. So you can see there's a big difference. Now, so far I've only been talking about ascending with these patterns. If you're descending and going the other way, it's the same concept. It's just going to be turned around. You're going to be muting the note with your fret hand and continuing the pattern with your tapping hand. Now, there's also something I haven't told you about that I've been doing with both of my hands that's been stopping a lot of excess noise. And this is absolutely essential if you want to have clean tapping technique.